All right, thanks everyone for joining today's webinar. We are here with Shippo. This is the Freestyle Solutions team. Today we're going to actually be talking and showing some of this stuff in regards to our new integration with Shippo. So just to get a few housekeeping things out of the way, just to let you guys know, this webinar is in fact recording. If you need to drop out for whatever reason or you need to share this with any of your teammates and colleagues, 24 hours after this webinar is ended, we will be sending out an email with the recording for you to share and review if you needed to as well. Also, we'll be taking questions at the end, but if you look at the questions panel on the GoToWebinar console that we have here, you'll be able to ask those questions and we'll be able to answer them as we go along today. Like I said, we'll do a little bit different for those who joined us last week and are joining us again. We're going to take the questions at the end, but feel free to ask any and all questions. We're more than happy to help. Also, like I mentioned, for those who are here a little bit earlier, we do have 3 handouts, one of them being this presentation, as you can see here. We will also have 2 other sheets about the Shippo setup and also the Shippo integration as well. So you guys can go ahead here, take a look at that, share that with your colleagues, team members, and yourself, and follow along if you wanted to with the presentation. So we do have a few people here today, one of them being from Shippo itself, and Richard Garcia. I am once again Sean Taggart from Freestyle Solutions, and also with me on the Freestyle side today, we do have Ian Olano. Richard, if you want to start with you, just introduce yourself to everyone today.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you all join today. Yeah, Richard Garcia, working on business development and the partnership between us and Freestyle Solutions. Happy to answer any questions beyond the call as well. So if you do have other questions, feel free to reach out to Sean, and then he can kind of funnel them my way after the call. But other than that, I'll be doing Q&A towards the end of this webinar.
Sure, and Ian, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure, thanks, Sean. Hi, everybody. If you guys don't know me, I've been currently the Director of Product Management here, helping in integrations such as this to move forward, move Freestyle forward to the future. So also here to demo the new smart shipping for M.O.M today, so, and also answering Q&A towards the end.
Thanks, Ian, and I am Sean Taggart. I'm the Product Marketing Manager. I've been with the company for about 4 years. Before that, I was from the implementation and support side. Recently came over about 1.5 years to the marketing side. And here we are, getting through a few slides about the company itself. For those who only know us for the M.O.M side of things, we were formerly known as Dynacomp, a retailer for retailers. The 2 brothers who started this company way back in 1985 wanted to create a software that can help them easily manage their catalog orders for their sheet music business, and as well as manage their inventory. So like I said, we do have the 30 years experience with building out the order inventory management software. And we also helped invent that category back in 1985. Then lastly, we're trusted by over 2,000 customers. And as you can see, one of the nice things here, we do have various different verticals. You may recognize some of these logos. You may actually see your logo here on the slide right here. And if so, we wanted to thank you. But as you can see here, we do have various different verticals that we help. I'm going to give it to Richard, who's going to explain a little bit about Shippo itself.
All right. Thank you so much, Sean. So Shippo, yes, we are a shipping tech platform. And what we do is, you could essentially say we are the point between Freestyle and the different shipping carriers. And today we'll be working or allowing a few different carriers that Freestyle is connecting or exposing to you. But what we do is you can print out labels. I think that is the main component, and all of the things that surround that. And of course, that would be rate calculation and tracking shipments and getting these live sorts of updates so you can see where that information is. And inside our application, you probably won't have to go to the Shippo application too often. However, you can take a look, you can log in and see which carriers you have added, especially once Freestyle adds on a few more. We would be able to manage that. Say if you have multiple FedEx accounts or UPS accounts, as well as what your invoices are or billing. So say in the instance of USPS for the postage that you've purchased and what you've been transacting through the system, you can also do some exports there. If you're just looking for some more deeper drill down shipping information. And we do have, in terms of our reach, we're about 16,000 businesses worldwide and growing. And we support everything from some marketplaces to retailers directly. And we're happy to work with retailers and commerce companies like yourselves.
All right, thanks, Richard. So to get an idea of what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to talk about the initial setup, and obviously we're going to talk about the benefits of going with a service like Shippo rather than using what you're currently using now to ship out. We do have smart shipping with M.O.M 10, which Ian did mention that we will be showing. And then also, like I said, we'll be taking some of those questions at the end to talk more about Shippo and M.O.M. It's native shipping within Freestyle M.O.M. So you guys can go ahead and compare rates, print labels, and track shipments directly out of M.O.M itself. No longer will you need to go outside of M.O.M to handle and manage printing out those labels and managing the label setup. You will also get discounted USPS rates, as well as keeping your own negotiated FedEx and UPS rates from one place. There's a sign-up form and some basic configuration that you'll need to fill out and enter in some information to make those two connect together. But one thing is it's completely free to use. No longer will you have to worry about the per label cost. When it comes to actually paying UPS and FedEx, you'll continue doing so as you're doing for the monthly invoices for using their service to, to generate that postage, the label. For USPS, instead of paying Indicia or USPS directly, you're going to actually go ahead and pay Shippo for those costs in terms of the monthly postage rates and your invoices for printing out USPS postage. So some things to talk about, and Ian will show this in the coming few minutes here. We do have the ability to go ahead here now and set up the Shippo setup in M.O.M. As you can see from the screen here, it's all going to be done under your maintain shipping information and shipping service breakdown. And then you'll get a screen that comes here like that, where you will enter in the information that is provided. From there, to get that all set up, though, you're going to have to go to this particular link at http://let's.goshippo.com/freestyle. Fill out the information here. The account's completely free, and like I said, once again, you will get a USPS account, which that way you'll be able to print out the labels through there directly. And then you would just tie in your direct UPS and FedEx account, and then get the API token and information that is available and sent back to you into the system, and that's where we would go back to this screen that I showed before and enter in that information as well. One thing to also note is with this update with the Shippo service, there is a new shipping service that will need to be installed on the M.O.M system itself, and that's something that our implementation team and our support team can help you out if there's any questions on that. This is for any supported version of M.O.M, so version 8 and above. The feature that we're going to be talking about heavily today with smart shipping is a M.O.M 10 only feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pass it over really quickly to Ian. Ian's going to actually go ahead here and he's going to show you some of the screens that we have here, as well as focus on getting some of the labels generated, either by doing it once again through the quick print option or your batch. So I'm going to actually go ahead and give the presentership to Ian. We do see a couple of questions here that we're getting here. Feel free to ask the questions, and once again, we will be asking at the end, answering them at the end. All right, Ian, over to you.
Just give me a second here. We're just going to choose my monitor here. Let me know when you guys see my screen.
All good.
Oh, perfect. So as Sean was mentioning, he was going over to the setup of Shippo from the M.O.M side. So From our maintain menu, we have a shipping information, and we added a shipping service. Sean mentioned that there is a shipping service that needs to be running in the background that needs to be installed on all the workstation that you plan to have print labels for you. Once that shipping service is installed, this will allow you access to this particular menu option, shipping service. Once you get here, you saw this screenshot here. You can actually sign up from Shippo from directly this screen. If you click this link, it will take you to that link that Sean just previously showed. You have to fill this information out. Just to mention how this actually works with M.O.M and Shippo is what we do is we actually work with a Shippo API with our service being the communicator between the two systems. We'll request the labels from Shippo. Shippo will then send it back an image of the label, which we store in this local location for you. And then when you actually print the labels from M.O.M, we look at this local location and then print out the label for you. So you're not getting in and out of the M.O.M and importing information back and forth. The label and the tracking information are brought back in for you. We have default dimensions. If you have a particular box size that you typically use, and if you don't set up dimensions in M.O.M, you can have it defaulted here. We're also working on rate shop upon import. What that means is when you import orders in M.O.M, you can actually rate shop as those orders are being imported to the system so that it can either get the most cost effective, the best way, or the fastest delivery, which is the fastest way. So with that said, what we do with that is we have what we call mappings. What M.O.M does is only going to use Shippo for all the shipping methods that you map here. So right now I've only mapped 4 methods. So first thing is we have a one-to-one map, so we can say priority mail, so I can check enable it, and then I can pick a specific service that you want to map priority mail. So this is useful. So say if you want to use a particular service and you want to know, you always want to use that particular service on the Shippo side. So priority mail is going to be mapped to priority mail, enable that. And same thing for the UPS. I can enable UPS and I can map that to ground. The smart shipping comes with when you map something a best way, BSD, and then mark it best way. So again, this is the cost effective. What it does is it will do a rate shop for you. So it will call to Shippo, and Shippo will then get us a response saying, hey, these are the available services that you have based on your Shippo account, and we're going to actually pick the lowest cost for you automatically. Same goes for the fastest way. We will make a call to Shippo. Shippo will then return information back to us saying all the different delivery services, and we're going to sort that by delivery and the cost. So that way we can get you the most cost-effective, fastest way to deliver the packages to your customers. So basically that's the setup. I'm going to go into a couple orders, and we're going to do some labels so you can see how that actually works in M.O.M. So I'm going to go ahead and save here and place an order for us. So under my own customer record, I'm going to place an order an ACVM, and let's do UPS first. So this is the one-to-one mapping that we have within the system. So once you have this shipping method, it's going to map to the service for Shippo. So depending on how you set up your paperwork done in M.O.M and how you fulfill, is this particular label is going to either print on your packing slip if you have the L form, or if you don't use the L form, it's going to print on the box label COD tag stage. So I'm going to go ahead and quick print this to demonstrate that. So actually that actually timed out. So also you can see there's prompts there when it times out on some of the calls to Shippo. So let me just print this.
You got to give them less TPS reports. Do you know that movie? Do you know the movie? Tell me you know. Okay, so going into the quote, converting it into an order, then going into the order and converting it into a quote, and then converting, and then updates the date. the content that they're doing. That's kind of what we have.
So here, once we have the request from Shippo, there was a timeout there that I had to redo the labels. But once we get the call to Shippo, you can see that Shippo will return a label for us. Right now I'm using the 4x6, so you can see I have a 4x6 label. And you can see this is a sample label because I'm using a test API key. So that way it's very easy to test on your side as well once you get onto Shippo.
No, it wasn't there.
So again, once I have the one-to-one mapping here, I can then choose it can actually print the labels from within M.O.M.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
So go ahead and print that on my system.
That's it.
And I'm going to go ahead and do another example, and we're going to do the fastest and best way. So let me place another order here. So I'm going to start with the best way. And what this is doing right now is actually using the service, going to Shippo, and it actually has chosen the best way. You can see if you highlight the rate shop button, you have the USPS media mail is the best way. But I'm going to go ahead and click rate shop here to show you the result set that we got from Shippo. So you can see media mail is the most cost-effective ways, but I do know it's going to take me 5 days to deliver it to my customer. So you do have the ability to override what's defaultly chosen for you. So by default, it's going to choose the lowest cost, but you know that you need to get this package out within the next couple of days. You could choose one of the other services that's available for you. Again, the services that you see on this rate shop is the services you have available on your Shippo account. So like Richard mentioned, if you had set up your UPS account and your FedEx account and USPS account, it would look at all those and shop against all those different accounts. So you can see on my test system here, I have USPS, UPS, and FedEx set up. So I have rates from all of them coming back. So I'm going to go ahead and select the rate I want. Pick this payment method. And again, this goes back to just now processing your orders, putting in either quick print or batch. It does the same thing. I'm going to print my invoice and exit. And then I'm going to go ahead, see the prompt. Now you have a new M.O.M shipping service that comes up for your label. And we view that. And now we have our label again available for you. So that's smart shipping with M.O.M 10. Again, we could do the same thing for fastest way. Let me just do fastest way. Let me actually reset this, make a new order actually, make it less confusing. I'm going to make a new order and do fastest way. The only main difference is really the way it sorts the result set coming back from Shippo. So let me do FES. So that's making a call now, and it returned. So right now, return priority overnight is the default choice, and that might not be the best choice because I know that's very expensive. So again, you could pick and choose and overwrite that depending on how, which one would work best for you. Again, this is sorted by number of days and then cost. So you can see all the delivery days. That's one. It's sorted by cost. So looks like priority mail would still be the best choice here as a service. And then you would select that, and then you would then process again like I did. So let me just do that really quick. And show you the label when it comes up. So again, we have a generated label from Shippo coming back to M.O.M, and you're printing it with M.O.M. So the the order workflow is really nice as far as no longer need to actually get in and out of M.O.M, exporting and importing data back and forth. The data is there for you right away. So I'm going to print this. And you can see the tracking information is there as well. So gets you a nice order workflow, and as far also discounted rates and most cost-effective rates for you. So it's definitely going to help you with time and savings as well. We do have a lot of questions here, Sean, coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and get you back the presenter, and we can take some of these questions here.
All right, sounds good. Let's take some of these questions before we go back into the rest of the presentation. Don't got much left of this. So let's see what we got here in terms of questions. We said we waited to the end, but I want to make sure that we get enough time for everyone, and they ask all their questions that need to be. So first question, and Ian, Richard, if you want to answer this, doesn't matter who. Does Shippo also handle USPS insurance added onto the postage and bill to us?
Yep, I'll take that. In terms of USPS insurance, so there is built-in USPS insurance with the expedited, so say Priority Mail Express, and that is kind of the default of what is available. And then I would have to talk to Ian about additional insurance if they have added it. But in terms of, say, USPS, there already is a built-in insurance up to a certain threshold within.
Okay, cool.
As far as on the mom side for that question, we are currently working on the insurance to add insurance with Shippo, so that's something in the works, yes.
All right, so can Shippo do international UPS, DHL, and USPS?
By international, if that means US outbound, yes, we have that capability. I'll leave it to Ian to answer a little bit more information about the capability for if there is any other customs or declarations information that needs to be added. But through our service, it can be available. And for DHL, same thing as well, DHL outbound, going US international, that is available and within countries. So say if you're in a European country and have a available UPS account and need to ship to another area within, that is available too.
On the mom side on that, obviously with international, the Shippo has that availability now but in mom, we need to make sure we also print out all the custom declarations. So that's something that we're going to add later on. That's something in our roadmap that we're thinking. So that way, when you are able to ship international from mom using UPS, DHL, and USPS. So that's something I'm researching and gathering on the requirements that we can add that here into the mom side.
Right. So I'm just going to answer a couple more questions, and then we'll come back to it at the end of the webinar. Ian, this is more of a mom question. How will the date features be set up? Package needs to be there by a specific date. So I'm wondering if this, and Tom Hansen asked this question, I'm wondering if this is done, like a feature date is by an exact date.
I don't quite follow the question there, but if it sounds like something that we were going to do with the guaranteed buy, where we're going to set a particular shipping or choose a particular shipping that can be able to be delivered on a particular date. So if it needs to be delivered in 2 days, it will give us all the different available services that can deliver in 2 days and sort that by cost. And that's a feature that we're currently completing now, but I didn't get to show today. I don't know if that answers your question, Tom, or if I'm really off base on that.
And does Shippo automatically know if an address is residential or commercial?
Now we have, so Shippo, and this, I would have to talk to Ian to see what is exposed, but we do have an indicator. Now it depends on what information that Freestyle is capturing or kind of indicating. But we do, but we'll have to talk internally about that availability.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, we do have the flag in MOM to indicate residential and commercial. So we just have to probably pass that over to you, Richard, and then you would be able to handle that.
Sounds good.
Okay, and I know we do have more questions. I just want to make sure we get to all these questions, and we will. We just want to make sure that we go through the rest of this presentation. First, we have a few more slides yet, so bear with us, but we will be coming back to these questions near the end. If you guys do have any more questions, feel free to ask them as well. Some of the benefits of using Shippo, Ian mentioned and showed all that stuff that we showed, getting the label right inside of M.O.M instead of going outside to get those labels for you. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar, and I'll stress this again, printing out the labels with the Shippo service is completely free. All you're going to be having to worry about is paying the cost for the shipping. There's no sign up, there's no monthly, there's no label cost. Shippo will bill you directly for the cost of your USPS labels, and FedEx and UPS will bill you directly for the cost of their labels. One thing that was asked, and I will mention in here, it was asked by, let me see if I saw that. Timothy asked about negotiated rates, how will they be imported or entered into M.O.M? Obviously, if you're talking about negotiated rates from your FedEx and UPS accounts, when you do your initial setups for Shippo, the Shippo service, you enter in that account information into the Shippo service, and we pull that information in through the API calls that we make. So like I said, you connect that FedEx and UPS account with the Shippo's app to access your own negotiated rates. And then obviously Shippo provides highly competitive USPS rates directly upon sign up. Then Ian did show, and because we were in a M.O.M 10 system, our smart shipping system capabilities, you will now have the ability to effectively ship out your product to customers with the ability to save a little on shipping costs. So Ian showed this once again, and I'll talk about this really quick, but you guys have the information there as well in the handout section of this GoToWebinar panel in terms of the two handouts as well as this presentation. You can now use smart shipping in M.O.M 10 to get your orders to your customers quickly and efficiently while saving on shipping costs, and Ian showed both the best way and fastest way. And also Ian mentioned this as a way to do a guaranteed buy. Now with a guaranteed ship buy, it gives you the ability to find the most cost-effective shipping service to ship your orders in 2-3 days, etc. So with that, that's something that's going to be coming soon. It gives you the ability to get it to your customer faster, but also save a little as well, and gives you the best ability to do that. And once again, it all really goes back to making sure that you're mapping the shipping methods and also making sure you're selecting if it's the best way or fastest way method when you're selecting that option for you. So today we discussed a lot, and I want to thank you guys for listening to us discuss all that. One of the things we talked about with Shippo and M.O.M is native shipping within M.O.M. No longer, once again, you have to go outside of M.O.M to print out those labels and pull in those tracking numbers. Everything's done within the M.O.M service itself. You get access to discounted USPS rates, and you can connect your FedEx and UPS accounts. For setting up Shippo within M.O.M, at first it requires a shipping service install, and then obviously you sign up with Shippo, and then enter in the authorization token and do all that setup inside of M.O.M and the maintain shipping methods setup menu that we showed inside of M.O.M itself. Obviously, as you know, those benefits, once again, are printing those labels is completely free, no monthly cost, no initial sign-up cost, no per label cost. Everything is free. Like I said, once again, you're just paying those invoices to FedEx or UPS or Shippo directly for USPS. And then competitive USPS rates compared to Harvey, Soft, and Disha. And then we did show also the smart shipping information, which was your best way, your fastest way. And coming soon is the guaranteed delivery. Now, I know we do have more questions here. And I see, Ian, you answered the question on the screen itself.
There's a question on the L forms, really quick, from Jamie. So Jamie, yes, it will print on the L forms from software forms. So if you are using that, you can still continue to use that with Shippo. And that's another advantage. If you're using USPS in Disha, you can't print those labels on the L form because it's another system. So you'd have to get out and print out the labels outside the M.O.M. With this Shippo integration, you are going to be able to use the L form and print the labels within the system.
And then also Jamie did ask, is there a way to see the exact shipping method that was used in M.O.M? Usually that field is where fastest way or best way is, and I think you did show that by hovering over the rate shopping field to show what method they selected. But
Yeah,
if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, if you can actually give me back presenter, I can show you how that can be done in M.O.M. Let me know when you. I can share that to Jamie. Thank you. I don't know which screen is showing in mine, but give me a second. You guys see my screen, or do you see?
I can see your screen.
Do you see the M.O.M, or do you see a beach?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So here, Jamie, to answer your question, shipping method is best way, and we call this the service that's used from Shippo. So you can see it's highlighted here that it's using USPS Media Mail, even though the shipping method in M.O.M is best way. So you can still see that and easily look at that. And if it's not here, you can actually go over to the rate shop, and you can still hover over the rate shop, and you can see which one it's sitting on. So if it's already complete like this, you can all go to the box like I initially showed. So hope that answers the question, Jamie.
All right, and then I answered that.
There's also a question from Timothy while we're here.
Yeah, split shipment.
So each box will actually have a rate shop, Timothy. So if you have, you can actually rate shop for each box if you wanted to. So you can get the best, most cost-effective way for each box. So if you have split shipments, the first one would go out whatever service you chose. The next one you can rate shop and then choose a different service altogether depending on what your preferences is. So we do handle the split shipment scenario as well.
And Stu, we will make this recording available 24 hours after this webinar ends, so you can go ahead and review, unless Ian, you want to just show her the interface once again to get that label generated. It might be a good idea just in case anyone else missed it as well.
You want me to generate another label? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, just create a new order and then show how we can get those labels generated through the quick print.
Sure. So I say automatically, best way automatically chooses the media mail, which is the lowest cost like we saw before. And go ahead and quick print this. My pick ticket, my invoice, which I don't necessarily need to see. But if you did have an L form here, like Jamie's question, it would actually print the label here on this stage. But for my system, I'm using a 4x6. It would actually generate on the box label COD stage. You can see my company information, where it's going to, all the relevant tracking information, and the convenient barcode as well that you guys are used to with M.O.M. So you'll have the order number in the bottom and the box ID. Go ahead, Sean, sorry.
No worries. I know this was wanted us to be ignored, but can rate shopping be done at the Packer's workstation?
Yeah, they will have access to the order itself, yes. They can rate shop in there.
All right, and I mean, one thing that Tom did mention is wanting to, check it out and see it. We will have the ability to go ahead, and if anyone's interested in being a beta tester for this, you guys can sign up and become a beta tester. Obviously, once again, this is good for versions 8 and 9, and then if you're interested in rate shopping, that's only for version 10. But we still do have the Shippo services available for 8, 9, and 10 as well. And then obviously it will print to your label printer. That hasn't changed. It will still print out from the printer that it, nothing has to change in that aspect.
There's a question about printers there, Sean, from Sue. It does print on a label printer and any of the L forms that we currently support.
Tom mentioned if the box record ends up showing BST instead of the actual M.O.M shipping code that was used to charge, that may be confusing.
Are you looking at it in the data set, Tom, directly? In the front end, you should have some indicator on what actually was used as service. But if you're looking in the back end, I believe we added a new field there to see what service is being used.
And so you mentioned front end.
Okay, so in the front end, let me show that again. I think I printed this. In the front end, you can either hover over the rate shop, which will tell you, or you can go to the view edit and see on the green here on the media mail, it tells you the method chosen in M.O.M that was mapped to Shippo was best way, but the servers used from Shippo was USPS media mail. So
Um,
hope
yeah,
that makes
hope
sense.
that
So there's two ways you can look at it in the box edit itself or over here. They just we wanted to put it over here, but this place gets crowded with other information, so we couldn't put it here. So that's why we made it a tooltip on the rate shop. But we could also possibly make it a tooltip over here on the ship via if that it's see if we
that'd be
need
a
more
bad idea.
feedback. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Tom, it'd be good feedback if you can, if you are a beta, good feedback like that to make it visibility to get more clarity on where we can add this that makes it less confusing for the shippers or the pickers and packers and how the package actually went out.
So one thing from Timothy, a couple of things. One was, is there automatic email to customers with tracking number?
With tracking number here, so you can
Yeah,
track. Go ahead.
yeah, I think this was also asking if we send any type of notice to the customer with the tracking information.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing in M.O.M. M.O.M always had that feature, the shipping confirmation. So once an order is shipped in M.O.M, it can generate a shipping confirmation notice automatically, and then you can send that in stage 6 in your batch process, which is the notice stage. So that is available.
And Sue did have a couple questions. One of them was the time frame on international. If you do have a time frame, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, we're currently finishing phase 2, which is the rate shop, the smart shopping, and then the first iteration of international, we're working on phase 3, which is going to be sometime in Q4. So we are working towards that as well, Sue.
And Sue was also asking about the end of day process if we already reviewed it.
So the end of day process we didn't review, but that's going to probably change slightly. A lot of our M.O.M users are used to doing end of day for UPS and FedEx, but that's not necessarily needed anymore as far as with Shippo. Basically, the end of day is when you print the labels and ship. There's pretty much the information is already in Shippo, so there's no need to do the end of day process for FedEx and UPS. For USPS, we still do print out a shipping manifest that's required by USPS, but the manifest for FedEx and UPS is no longer required, so that's something we don't do. At the end of the day, with the way you're going to be billed is basically whatever is scanned out of your system, what you actually ship is what you're going to be billed. Richard, if you can add a little bit more color on that, if you have any, that would be helpful as well on how the end of the day process would work on Shippo.
Yes, yeah, at least in terms of if you're not accessing a scan form via Freestyle's user interface, we also do have a way to print out a scan or manifest via Shippo. And what I could do is I can send Ian the URL or the link to where that is if you're already logged into Shippo. But that is available through our system as well.
Richard, this is for me, but when we were reading some of the documentations, only certain carriers require the manifest. Is that correct?
Correct. Not all of them do. Someone like USPS, if you're doing many shipments and getting it out the door, if it's say just a one-off, you obviously don't have to print out a scan form for say postal. If you're doing a few more, your courier will thank you if you print out a scan form. If say you're doing a bulk pickup.
Mm-hmm. On the how about on the UPS side? That's
no, has not been a requirement. So we electronically manifest or send the information to UPS and FedEx. So it has not been a requirement for a end of day manifest on that side, at least for the integrations that we have done with those systems.
When is the manifest actually sent over to UPS? So when we print the labels from M.O.M, we complete that label. Is that sent over? When does that actually happen?
Yes, that is sent over kind of like a live stream over. So
Okay.
they would have that information.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Smart shipping is only available in M.O.M version 10 using the Shippo service. It cannot be used without it. Now, Sue asked a question. We use a separate vendor for shippers and shares. Can you use the manifest for this purpose too? Ian,
Oh, I'm not sure about that. If that's a what vendor is that, and if Shippo has that vendor, I don't know if we could send that. Right now, probably not. The answer to that would be no. Maybe something we can discuss further and see if that's a possibility.
Right. And Tom did ask a couple things. Say, for example, what if they change from UPS and mail midday before we're done with that? Is that something that if they cancel out the label, Tom, if you want to elaborate a little bit more, but I'm assuming if they cancel the label out from UPS and switch it to USPS, they won't be charged for that UPS label, but rather than the USPS label for the manifest.
Correct. So whatever you manifest is what you get charged on. For the UPS, if you actually print a label but not scanned, UPS is not going to bill you. There's going to be a record on it on Shippo, I believe, but that also gets automatically removed after 30 days. Richard, correct me if I'm wrong. If that's what I understood on the UPS side. Once you print a label, it automatically gets removed after 30 days if it's not used. Correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And then Sue asked if there's any issues with changing or altering a package. I'm assuming it's like switching methods, but from what it sounds like, based on that last question, there really isn't.
There's not. I mean, it's the same process that you guys do now. Depending on what state the order is, you would have to reset the order and then repack, re-invoice, or just repack. And then doing that puts you back to the initial stage of ordering, which is the pick pack. And then I would just go through the process again. It would print a new label. So there's not really an issue there. It really depends on what state of the package is at, and it requires different actions.
And then Tom asked for the reverse scenario. Say, for example, he wanted to he set up and did a USPS label and switched it to UPS. It's the same type of scenario. I'm sure USPS doesn't do the same 30 days, but they may have something similar.
It wouldn't necessarily manifest that label because we didn't actually get printed. So yeah, it would work the same way. You wouldn't be charged for the USPS label. You would be charged just for the UPS because that's what's going out.
Mm-hmm. And
that's a good question. Yeah, I saw Jamie's question. So Jamie's question is, can you send customer return labels? So the answer is yes. We are currently working on that as part of phase 2, the call tags. So you are going to be able to do return labels to your customers.
Excellent. Timothy asked, if internet connection is lost, does the system still work? If partial, which functions are lost during lost internet connection?
It does require internet connection. So if the internet connection is down, the service can't call out to Shippo. So you would need internet service to make calls. So depending on where the connection fails, you might have to reset that particular order and get another label again. So, but you won't be able to rate shop. You won't be able to print any labels at all if the internet goes down.
I don't know if you just saw Tom's latest question, Ian.
So, so if you can read that, Sean, and then
Sure.
Richard can add to that a little bit.
So Richard, this is from Tom. He said that Richard said they were live streamed to the carrier as we print them. Don't see how we can cancel one and print a different carrier. How will the first carrier know we did that?
Can you repeat that question one more time?
Sure. This goes back to switching between, say, for example, UPS, USPS, or vice versa. He mentioned that it was said that there were live streamed to the carrier as you print them, and he doesn't see how we can cancel one and print a different carrier. How will the first carrier know that we did that?
Okay, so say I'll start off with the USPS side. So USPS in the instance that you do not cancel and you just leave that label alone, so you essentially generating the USPS label and then not printing it out, but you still generated it because you were going to print it out. And then now you just want to switch to a UPS service and print out that label. So on the USPS side, there is the charge for it if you like electronically print it, but maybe not throw it through your printer. Upon 30 days, we will refund this postage on the USPS side automatically to your system, and you will be charged by UPS for the label you printed. So that's that instance. And in terms of manifesting, we send that information to USPS. However, we do matching information as a postal vendor if it is not scanned, just so it doesn't really matter. We quote unquote manifested it to postal to tell them that there was a transaction, but they're going to find out that it was never scanned, so it's fine, and we can ensure that it's not in the mail stream. On the UPS side, if you were to print out that label itself, we may still send information to UPS because we're getting tracking information and whatnot, but you're not sending that UPS label out. This is the second instance. And then you print out a USPS label, you'd be charged for the USPS label. You would not be charged for the UPS label, but we'll still send information to UPS just to say that a transaction has occurred, so we can get tracking number and all that information. So those are the two instances. I hope that that clarifies that for you a little bit more.
All right, so Tom did follow up with, we did print the USPS label and then we put it on the box, and then we found out it needs to be shipped via UPS. But I feel, Richard, that you answered that well, and Tom, I hope that his answer did in fact help. If not, we can actually take this off and then we can go a little bit further in detail if necessary. Yeah, all right, so we'll take this one offline. So Ian, if you just want to throw me back presentership real quick for one last thing here. Thank you.
There you go.
Make sure we can see my screen all nice and pretty. All right, so we wanted to thank you guys for joining us today. Now, if there's any questions on both the Freestyle M.O.M side or the Shippo side, you can email marketing@freestylesolutions.com for any freestyle related questions in regards to what you saw today. If there's anything in particular to the Shippo side, you can contact sales@shippo.com. They'll respond directly. If you want to reach to me directly, it's Shawn, SHAWN.Taggart, TAGGART @freestylesolutions.com. If you want to become a member of the Shippo beta program within for you to start using the Shippo service, try it out, give us feedback, you can send that to the emails I provided on the Freestyle side, the marketing@freestylesolutions.com or the Shawn.Taggart@freestylesolutions.com email. You can also send it to over to M.O.M support@freestylesolutions.com. Just put it at the subject Shippo beta, and then we just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware of that. We did have one final question from Timothy, or this may be more of a statement, but media mail is only allowed for certain items. Can M.O.M be flagged for, I saw that Ian actually just answered that offline, but thank you for that, Ian. If there's any more questions, feel free to ask, but thank you for joining us today. Once again, this recording will be available tomorrow afternoon. You can reach out to us if there's any questions. Richard, thank you for joining us today. Same with Ian, thanks for joining us too today. We will be sending this out shortly. Make sure you download the handouts if necessary, the presentation and 2 handouts about the Shippo and M.O.M integration, and have a good rest of your Thursday.